How are you guys doing? It's a new week, new gamma exposure levels. The GEX profile for this week is still a little bit unconventional, but we do have some key strikes that I want to discuss for this week. As usual, we're going to take a look at the volume profile for the futures, the daily time frame on the SPY, a little bit of a VIX analysis, and then some trade ideas, some that I would consider to be relatively safe, and then some more shorter term spreads. Now for the SPY this week, the gamma exposure profile is still a bit of a mess in my opinion, but this 630 strike, as I mentioned in the video that I released last night, is extremely significant, and for the next few weeks it's going to remain important as the gamma exposure profile for all expirations. This is the strike that has been lighting up for a bit, and now this week here we can see it is the highest negative gamma strike. It has the highest absolute gamma, it has the highest open interest, and the highest put open interest. So a lot of things that are culminating at this strike, which is why I made it this electric blue color. The thing to take note of is if the VIX was to break down below this 29 level, we'll call it, I would not expect this strike to be a magnet. However, as long as the VIX remains above, we'll call it 30, that is going to help this case for this to be a magnet. So I like to look at these things in tandem with each other. And for now, I am not entirely sure if it's going to act as a magnet for this week. So normally I would start a week and say, okay, this is the strike that I think is going to be a magnet if it's very apparent. At a first glance, it appears to be that it's going to be a magnet, but I'm not sure right now. I have a feeling that even if the market was to get down to 630, it might want to reject this level and kind of bounce back up to here, but there's no way to know for certain, for sure right now. That is just a little bit of my thoughts. 650 is significant because it is a net negative gamma strike, but yet it has the highest call open interest for this week. By the way, if you're new here, I do my analysis on gamma exposure at the start of the week, and it is a combination of all expirations for the week. So when I say this is the strike that has the highest call open interest, it means it is the call open interest for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday combined. So 650 is important. I am interpreting this as it being a level that the market will struggle to get over, which kind of makes sense because if you remember from last week, I was expecting 650 to be a major support. So specifically, this was the area that I was expecting to be a significant support, which it did end up acting as support until things broke down later in the week. But for the first half, 650 was support as well as this area. So 650 now, it's not uncommon or it's not strange to think that if the market was to bounce back up to this level, it will struggle to get back above it. Our gamma flip is all the way up at 660. I think it is a little too far out of reach for a 4-day week for the markets to get up to there. However, it has happened before. It's not a ridiculously far strike from here as it is only 3.8% up. It's not over 5%. The market has bounced over 4% in a week before, but I'm not going to hold my breath for 660. I think if you're a bullish, you want to be conservative and expect 650. If the market can hold above 650, at that point, the week is probably almost done and you have to decide if it's worth it to take the risk on this week. Now, if you're thinking about next week, this is where I think will be a good target if the markets can hold above this whole region here and we see the VIX continuing to break down below 30, below 29, then 660 becomes very possible. The highest positive gamma strike or net positive gamma strike is 670. I think it's way too far of reach to even consider it for this week, so I'm not going to mention it. In terms of the iron condor range, I think a good expectation or a range that should do really well is the 625 to 660. So that would be just below the 630 level. So if we take a look here, it is 625 to 660. This is the range in which I would expect to hit profits by the end of day tomorrow or for the first half of Wednesday. So about 2.5 days worth of time decay. This region here, this is where is the first sign of net positive gamma. It starts at 641, but there is not that much net positive gamma. That's why I didn't even highlight a green section. This is a fainted green just so that I can remember that there is even some kind of positive GEX here. There is a decent amount of absolute gamma at these strikes. So we can expect these strikes to be significant, but we have, this is the main absolute gamma strike here, and then we have this one as the second one. So this is the really tight range from an absolute gamma standpoint, which is why it will make sense for the markets to want to consolidate for a bit in this region. If it breaks out above this and retest it, then it's likely going to try and attack this level here at 645. If the market breaks down below 630, then I'm not really sure what's going on, and I would probably take the back seat unless we get down to here and I see a nice sign of a reversal within price action, and I think it's going to be worth it to take the market back up to 630. Personally, I don't think the market is going to be below 630 this week, but but at this point, no one really knows. Again, we are in a headline-driven market. This is a good segue, I think, to jump over to the daily time frame. And there's something I want to point out. Let's actually zoom in for a second here. We're coming down to this 2-year anchored VWAP. It is just the anchored VWAP from the previous year. It's something that I like to have up on the charts as a good measure of how is this current year doing in relation to the previous year. Something else to consider is the RSI is now dipping below 30. That is generally a good sign of the selling pressure slowing down, as we can see here, as we can see here, and as we can see at all these previous times. Now on the weekly time frame is where it's really powerful. That's where it's definitely a time that I've traditionally used as a sign to look to invest, as we can see here. So this is the last time that happened, and then we have back in 2020, of course. So it's very rare, and we can see the market is starting to come down to this level. So we want to monitor this. The moment the RSI starts printing below 30 on the weekly time frame, then it's definitely a good time traditionally to look for a recovery in the markets. As we can see, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive red weeks. This week is not close, so we can't count this yet. That is also not traditionally common. Something else I also want to point out is these spikes in volume that we traditionally see right around the time before the market reverses. I mentioned that, I think it was about a week ago or so, and we can see the market has gone lower. This should just be an indication of a possible slowdown in selling pressure happening. It does not always mean an immediate reversal, so I went back ahead and pointed out a couple examples back here in which we can see we had similar volume. So I'm just using this as a measure. So this is the amount of volume that spiked here. If we just draw a loose line, obviously there's a better way to do this within Thinkorswim, but I'm trying to get this out to you guys as quickly as possible. So these are just in areas in which the volume spiked on the daily time frame about as high as this, whatever amount of volume that was for that day. And we can see if we zoom in here, the markets did go lower. So this is a time in which the market sold off a little bit, had a slight bounce, and then it did put in a new low. Same thing here. The markets did sell off. Things looked bad. We had a spike in volume, it did bounce, but then it did ultimately end up going lower. So just because we do see that spike, does that mean it's a full blown on reversal? It doesn't mean a bear market is not going to happen. It doesn't mean the start of a new bull market. It has gone a little bit lower, but as you guys can see previously, it does not go that much lower. Or if it does put in the next leg down, that tends to be the last leg down. So in other words, if the market does something like this, and then it just goes boom, maybe over the next month or so, wherever that selling, stops, and then we see another spike in volume, that tends to be a really good time. It'll probably coincide with the weekly time frame RSI being oversold. Pointing these things out, obviously this is not just for the weekly analysis, but I'm pointing things out early for you guys because the market is going to start trading a little bit differently now that we don't have a major quad witching upon us. It's not earnings season. The market is going to kind of be in cruise control, I would say, unless there's any more major headlines. I have updated some of my volume profile levels on the ES. So I added last week's weekly value area low. I left these levels up from the August 2025 for now as they're still in play. Added this supply zone up here, and then last week's weekly point of control. It is a virgin point of control from the weekly time frame because if the market does get up to there, it should struggle. Last but not least, let's take a look at some trade ideas. This is a good income spread, we'd say. It's going over 45 DT. I actually shared this within QTA last week, but now it looks like it's even a better time because the credit can be 420, 425 or so. You can get a fill. This is going with over 45 DTE. It is not that low of a delta. I think it's a 0.22 right now. So traditionally people would like to sell something like a 0.15 or so. So I think going with a 0.15 delta all the way down here is not a smart use of capital, but that's my own personal opinion on it. I don't want to use $2,500 to collect $200 in credit. I think getting $400 in credits with this type of margin, with this much amount of time, with the way the gamma exposure profile is looking, and with how high the VIX is, I would try to take advantage of it. But again, I'm not the greatest put credit spread trader. I'm actually not running this live. It was just a trade idea that I was stating for anyone interested in put credit spreads. This is a position I actually do have running live. Instead of going with a Friday expiration, I went with a 7 DTE for next week. I think this is a really good range here for my profile, at least, as I also have these. But this is a position I opened from last week. It's doing okay right now, but it is long delta, so it is expecting some sort of a bounce in the markets. If the markets does consolidate with where it is right now, I did want a little bit extra theta in my profile, and I'm being relatively aggressive. And I also have some of these. This is my most aggressive position in terms of DTE because it is expiring this Thursday instead of Friday. You guys know I love the XSP. It is just the extra sauce on the side. So if I have my main positions in the SPX, it's always nice to just squeeze out a couple, sometimes an extra $300-400 in profit in a few days, just running a few XSP positions. I didn't want to go with the 7DTE on the XSP because then I would have needed at least 6 lots or something like that to be interested, and that's too much in commissions. So that's why I actually ended up just going with the SPX for this, and I just went with 1 lot for now on that here. And this you can scale up, scale down. I think it's a decent way to approach at least today into Wednesday. This is the Iron Condor. I just saved that at a random time. It was not the best time, but I think this is the conversion from the SPY range in which I mentioned at the beginning of this video, as well as in the notes that I shared. So I think it's this range from here to here. That is essentially this Iron Condor. And then we have a different version of the account builder spread. It's 11 DTE as usual, as opposed to 15 DTE. Made it a little bit of a broken wing. I actually wanted to run this live, but I'm already using this expiration for the other spreads, so I could not run this one live. Didn't want things to get too confusing, but I do, you guys know I love this spread. I think it's incredible for building up an account, as the gains are consistent and it does not have a lot of risk. And with the VIX being so high, it is really doing well on a almost weekly basis. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment down below, like it, and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you learned something. And you guys know, expect another video later this week in which we will recap, and maybe I'll check in on Wednesday to see how things are going in the market if I think there's anything alarming to point out. Thanks for watching. Take care.